Morning, Katie. I'm on the roof again. Woohoo! Also, I'm gonna have to make a really quick video today because I have like a ton of work and it's near finals and it's like blah, 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 and I've been procrastinating quite a lot. Anyway, today when I got my allergy shot, they did the usual, you know, stuck me in the arm, but today, like, just 5 minutes afterward, just like oozed out. And it's like, it's one thing to sweat or to bleed, but when there's like tree pollen and cat dander coming out of your arm, it's kind of gross. Anyway, something just as gross, I'm supposed to talk about Twilight today. Yay! Not really. Actually, I was originally going to sparkle in the sunshine for everyone to show you how dumb that is. Anyway, putting Stephenie Meyer's poor writing style aside, I'm going to explain why the plot sucks so much. Now, the characters have no personality. They're all Mary Sues. Edward likes Bella, Bella likes Edward, and that's basically the end of it. The only cool characters, Alice and Jasper, are not even used. They're basically just there, so it looks like Bella has more friends. She really doesn't have friends. Another thing, Bella doesn't have a past. She went to ballet, and she used to live in Arizona with her mother. But she never once mentions having other friends, ever. It's like, you should at least have had one friend in your entire lifetime in Arizona that you could mention, or some past experiences you could recall while trying to explain a story, but it was basically like Stephenie Meyer was just like, hey, you're gonna exist starting from this point onward. I don't know. I feel like the characters should have a past. Alice, however, has a past where she was apparently in a mental institution, but they never really go in and explain why, which bugged me, because I really wanted to hear about that story. And before all you fangirls are like, well, if you didn't like the books, you shouldn't have read them, blah blah blah, I read them because I heard that they were fantastic. Admittedly, I knew nothing about them before I read them, other than it was a story about a vampire and some teenage girl he was in love with. And when you think about it, the plotline in the movies are really like High School Musical, except without the music and adding in vampires just for the hell of it. Yeah. So, Stephenie Meyer also creates a lot of rules for her vampires that are often broken. Like reproduction. Female vampires can't reproduce, yet Edward can get Bella pregnant. Now you can argue that female vampires can't reproduce because they don't have blood, so they can't get a period, so like that whole cycle of releasing eggs and such just doesn't work anymore. But you can also argue that male vampires shouldn't be able to reproduce because they don't have blood and therefore cannot get a boner, making it quite impossible to get a girl pregnant unless Edward, like, cut open his balls and just took the vampire sperm and placed it in her. Which would be gross. But so is ripping your child out of your wife's womb with your teeth and then, like, biting through the placenta. Also, does anyone else realize that Edward and Bella aren't in love? They're like, you're pretty. You smell good and I can't read your mind. Yeah? Let's go out. Yes. No. I'm too dangerous. Okay, we will. Nah, my pants. My phone rang. I'm gonna get it in a minute. Also, she never explains why they sparkle. Like, first of all, I think the sparkling's dumb. Secondly, I think that if you're going to take what every other vampire legend had before, which is they burst into flame, they're weakened by the sunlight, blah blah blah, you should at least explain why people used to think vampires did that, and then you should explain what makes them actually sparkle. Like, by drinking blood, do they just, like, obtain glitter through our red pigments? I don't know. It should be explained. It just really should be explained. Also, her name means beautiful swan, So it's like, I had no friends or boyfriends in my past, but now that I moved to Forks, I'm suddenly beautiful. You know, like the ugly duckling? Yeah, that's totally me. I'm like, I understand why it appeals to girls, because, you know, this, like, lonely person without much experience gets, like, some super hot guy, but it's really dumb. Also, vegetarian vampires are the dumbest idea ever, because being like, oh yeah, I'm threatening because I drink animal blood still. It's like, really? Because I like eating animal meat, and my favorite type of fish is actually shark, unless you're counting eel. There's nothing threatening about that. People eat animals all the time, so why is it scary if a vampire drinks an animal's blood? Like, isn't that how they still slaughter goats? They just, like, slit its throat? It's no different. Also, there's no such thing as, well, there's such a thing, but there are no mountain lions in Washington State. So Stephenie Meyer really needs to do research before she writes, because it just makes her look even dumber than she already is, which is pretty dumb. So yeah, Twilight sucks. Anyway, people should really get good taste in literature soon, because millions of books are published every year, yet the average household only buys about one. We're basically publishing more and more crap so that all the good things that are written can't find a proper place. Really dumb. Right. Did I talk about their emotionally abusive relationship? At one point in the book, they're watching Romeo and Juliet together, and Edward's like, Bella, when you die, since I will not change you into a vampire, I'm going to kill myself. And she's like, no, Edward! When I die, you gotta go on living! Blah, 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 I love you! But when you die, I'm gonna kill myself. It's like, no, Bella, you can't kill yourself. I love you too much. You must go on living. But when you die, I'm gonna kill myself. It's just like this giant circle of like, you can't die because I love you. But if you die, I'm gonna kill myself. Well, it's not healthy. There's nothing healthy about that. Plus, he stalks her. Like, if a guy comes into your room in the middle of the night and you don't know it, that's not romantic. The entire traditional concept of, like, sneaking into a girl's room in the middle of the night as a romantic idea normally involves, like, calling her first, or, like, throwing rocks at her window until she wakes up, and then it's like, oh my god, I can't believe you snuck out just for me. Then, you know, you, like, spend the night together, or cuddle, or do whatever else you want, but it's not romantic if you don't know the guy is there. That's just creepy on so many levels. Also, if your storyline requires, like, this much of a book this thick, of you, like, trying to figure out what he is, or why he's so fast, you shouldn't write on the back of the book, there were 3 things I was absolutely sure of. 1, Edward was a vampire. It's like, okay, that completely ruined it. Not that it wasn't obvious before, but it's not any fun if you give away the book on the back. Not exactly like the plotline had any twists or surprises in it. Everything was completely 100% predictable. Also, Jacob was a completely pointless character, except for in the 3rd book. But, well, maybe it was the 2nd, I can't remember. But he basically exists just so Bella has somebody when Edward leaves, because, you know, females are completely incapable of being happy without somebody else in their lives. The book's really sexist in that sense, and my mom's home. Okay. So, book sexist, they sparkle, reproduction, emotional abuse, character development. Her writing style sucks. Also, when he goes to Italy, just like sparkle in the sunshine because he thinks Bella's dead, like, no one's gonna look at him and think, hey, he's sparkling, he must be a vampire. They're gonna look at him and think, Hey, a street performer, let's throw dollar bills down his man panties. Vampire gang, the Voltrio, have, like, no purpose in the book at all. Except to be like, hey, we're part of the plot line, because Stephanie Meyer has no imagination. Yeah. Well, anyway, Katie, I would look forward to hearing your thoughts on the Twilight series, and feel free to incorporate how dumb Romeo and Juliet also is, in the sense that it's not about love. I love the play, but it's more about teenage stupidity, really. And I'm sorry I couldn't sparkle for everyone.